City Current. Produced by Dakota Media Access. In-depth discussion with Bismarck and Mandan city officials. Watch on Government Access Channel 602 HD or tune in to Radio Access 102.5 FM. Always local, always current.
Welcome to City Current Mandan edition with Mandan City Administrator Jim Neubauer and Communications Specialist Carrie Schmidt is a special guest today. So glad to have you in studio. The commission meeting last night, kind of a light agenda. Nevertheless, we have a lot to talk about.
Always a lot of things to talk about, and we're awfully happy to have Carrie with us today. It was her first time on City Current, I believe, so we'll break her in nicely.
Yeah.
All the tough questions.
She's handling all of the questions from the meeting last night, right? Is that what we agreed to, Carrie? No.
We'll let the subject matter
Okay.
expert take that.
Sounds good. Well, May is going to be a big month for both the cities of Mandan and Bismarck, and
Right.
the chambers involved. And we have a proclamation to show you, but we just wanted to bring up just an announcement last night. Is the mayor read the Welcome Month proclamation, Jim, and I know there's activities planned throughout the month of May.
Right, I think this is a initiative started between the mayors of Bismarck and Mandan to try and make our newcomers to the community feel welcome. Sometimes as North Dakotans, we're pretty closed in, and it takes us a while to invite someone to our garage and have a cocktail or have a conversation. And I think that's the whole idea of this, is trying to reach out to your neighbors who you might not know and introduce yourself and welcome them to the community and continue to welcome them and invite them to events.
And the timing is great, I think. I just couldn't help but notice over the weekend how many people are out and about. So if you want to invite them to the porch or the garage, it's a great time of year to do so.
Absolutely, and I think, again, great initiative started, and we'll see how it goes for the entire month of May. So invite your neighbors over.
Yeah, and there's a press conference, I think, May 1st here that will flesh out some more details about what's going on. To the City Commission meeting last night, public hearing, MDU has a request. They want to build a lineman training facility
Right.
a little northeast of town. We have a map of that area, too. Just wanted to get an update on that, Jim.
Yeah, needed to have some zoning changes with that. And again, a lineman facility, if you're familiar with this neighborhood, it's out near the Central Dakota Humane Society. There's also what you might call a pole farm out there right now. And so, like I said, they were going to use this as a training facility for their linemen and line women, I guess. So
Right.
their line workers is probably the term
Line
nowadays.
worker, yeah.
Yeah.
On the consent agenda, one item of interest, we all know how many great events the city of Mandan is able to host each year, and the Mandan Progress Organization has some grant requests out that total $20,000,
Right.
but will feed a number of events.
This was started, I think, 25, 30 years ago when we first introduced the Mandan Progress Organization first got up and running. And it's like the intention was for new events that are coming to town, how can we help those events get off their feet and succeed? So the city of Mandan provides $20,000 to the Mandan Progress Organization out of our sales tax funds that are used to help promote and encourage businesses to do that, and also organizations to create events such as Touch a Truck and Buggies and Blues are still recipients of some of those funds. So great program, great way for folks that are considering creating a new event to fill out an application with the MPO. Normally that happens during the wintertime. They are scored and ranked by an MPO committee, and in turn those results are given to the City Commission for their final approval. So yeah, a lot of events on there, and we're very happy to help those event organizers.
And Carrie, in your role, you get to promote all of these things, so that's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, all the different events that Mandan has, and it definitely brings a lot of people out to our community to see what all Mandan is about.
Yeah. Some old business on the agenda last night, and this has been lingering for a while, but we have a graphic of that too. Driveway variance request and city code. I don't want to get into the engineering details. I
Right.
think it's 36 feet is code, and this gentleman wanted to consolidate two lots, and so wondered if he could double the 36 to 72. Is that about the essence of it?
You're pretty much hitting the nail on
For
the
not
head.
being an engineer.
The property is located down in the southwest part of Mandan, just south of the railroad tracks. And again, westerly side of town, individual had bought a couple of lots. They combined those lots, built a large, if you call them a barn dominium or a shome or something like that, a shop and a living quarters in that shop, and in turn is looking for a larger driveway. And driveways, in this case, they have 2 driveway requests, one on the north side and also on the west side, to accommodate. I think there are 5 garage doors on the west side, and there are certain requirements as far as driveway widths in a residential area. And the reasons are to protect from, a lot of times someone wants a 70-foot driveway. Well, all you have is driveway. And when snow removal comes and there's nowhere to put the snow on a boulevard, and in some of these cases it's, we are required, I think, to keep one 18-foot driveway width open, not necessarily 70. But again, this is residential property, and the property owner, I don't think, was pleased with our suggestions from our engineering folks, and was told to come back and work something out. And our engineering team is fully aware and would be very much willing to help you come to a resolution to this issue.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and for people who don't know how cities work and the inner workings. In this case, the variance was denied last night, but
Right.
The engineering department of the city has said it's interested and able to work with this gentleman on finding a solution, a reasonable solution.
Very much interested in coming to a compromise, and if we can work one out, that's great. And I think we will be able to work out a compromise agreement and move on from there. But again, we are certainly willing to have conversations in this area.
In the new business section on the agenda, Jim and Carrie, I thought this is neat. There's a gift card program to help stimulate some business along Memorial Highway, and some dollars that'll be allocated to a program to get these digital gift cards. I guess
Yes.
we should be clear. These are not, right, not credit cards. But tell us about this program, what was talked about last night, and how, again, it's really going to help some of these businesses during this construction phase on Memorial Highway.
Right. Conversations really have been happening for many months behind the scenes, as far as what can the city of Mandan do to help encourage people to still partake and frequent those businesses while on the east end of the strip, and in fact the entire length of the strip, while construction is going on. And so we've had conversations with the former executive director of the Mandan Progress Organization, Del Wetch, on what did you do in the 90s when Main Street was torn up and redone. And we got some ideas from Del, had some conversations with the Mandan Progress Organization. Some ideas were floated to the Mandan Growth Fund Committee, which funds some economic development things in town. Met with them twice, and the Matt Shenandoah and Tristan with the Mandan Progress Organization presented a YIFTI, I think is what it's called, and there would be a gift card program so that if you purchase $50 in the YIFTI gift card, I think you will get whatever percentage above and beyond that. You might get $75, you might get $60 back. And they're still working out those details. But again, something to encourage folks to still participate and shop along the strip.
And I believe the amount is $50,000, and if I understood right, $10,000 would go to marketing to get the word out so people know about it, and this program would be, as construction continues to the west end,
Right.
They'd look to continue it in the future, but they want to see how things go initially in this first round.
Yep, interesting conversation between the Growth Fund had asked the Mandan Progress Organization after their first presentation, take a survey of those businesses out on the strip and see if they're interested in doing this before we commit money to it. Matt and his crew surveyed the businesses. They were excited and said, yes, we would appreciate the help. And so come back with the program. $50,000 in total was approved last night. $10,000 will be used for marketing of that program, and $40,000 would go towards the actual cards. We want to make sure that we aren't doing I'm going to go buy a $30,000 vehicle and I'll buy $30,000 worth of YIFTI cards and get 10% savings. So we're making sure that there are some limits because we want these gift cards or YIFTI cards to be able to stretch out into as many businesses as possible.
And that, kind of an aside, and I got a smile on my face last night, but Commissioner Schoberg was, again, going back to that point, is this a physical gift card? No,
Right.
It's a digital gift card, but even I think Matt said last night, hey, stop on in, we'll show you how to get this
Yep.
working. And so if anybody has any angst about not having a physical gift card, people are willing to help.
Yep, and Matt and his crew will certainly walk you through that process, and I think Carrie and Madison are well equipped to help out too. But we will send you too. I don't want to put that on us. This is a
Right.
This is a Mandan Progress Organization program. It'll be run through them, and we think it serves dual purpose. One, it will help the businesses out during the construction season, and two, give those businesses that may not exposed to the Mandan Progress Organization as much, because a lot of those events are held downtown. So let's bring some help out to our customers and our patrons out on the Strip.
And I guess while we're talking about it, what's the latest on construction?
Latest and greatest changes every day.
Yep.
Right. Traffic is down to, I think there are on the south side of the existing roadway, east and west traffic, there will always be a eastbound and westbound lane open along with the center turn lane. And so that is one of the things that will always be there. There is stormwater improvements being made on 19th, I think, Carrie,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, right now it'll move to 21st in the coming weeks.
Yep, and so it is moving. You will. It's interesting. Over the last month or so, I've had several people go, "Yeah, you talk about Strip being redone all the time, and now that they actually see cones and Jersey barriers, it is happening."
It's happening.
It's a lot of excited people out there too, I think.
Yeah. And we're asking the public, don't avoid the area. Keep
Yeah.
taking that way. Be safe when you're in the construction area.
Yeah.
And just visit those businesses.
Yeah. Have another map for our next item that was under new business last night as well, and talking about the building blocks program, the 3rd Street corridor. Jim, you said, I think basically if you think of it from like McDonald's to Municipal Golf Course.
Right.
What was the update last night on that building blocks program?
Yeah, I think we might have to move a different map off the screen for, I think that's our Monte Drive.
That's the Monte
area,
Drive.
But that's okay.
I might have them out of order.
We
Okay.
can, we'll talk about building blocks first. And building blocks is we, the City of Mandan, applied for a brownfields assessment grant back 2-3 years ago, I think. And part of being allocated that money was that we also were able to take advantage of several different study areas. And the 3rd Street area corridor is from, if you think of Mary Stark School on the southwest part of town, over to McDonald's, entering onto the Strip. That whole area, we wanted to figure out, what do folks really want to see that area become? It can be better than it is, like every area in town, but a lot of ideas came up from a couple of working sessions we had with stakeholders in that area. When we have a 1.5 day workshop, I think, with folks, very good participation, talk about, hey, it'd be nice to have a storm shelter down here because there's a lot of mobile home parks in that area. Can we improve the sidewalks in that area for walkability? We have a bunch of oxbows, which is where floodwater comes and stormwater comes. Can we is there another purpose for them in addition to holding stormwater? Can we make them more functional parts of this area? So a lot of good ideas, and now the commission accepted that report last night, so now it'll be up to everyone to say, okay, what kind of bits and pieces can we bite off and chew off at a time to make this a more attractive part of the community?
Yeah, so some exciting things moving forward.
Yes.
As we all know, the legislative session is still going. We're getting close to the end,
Right.
from what I understand. We want to save a bunch of days, but give us the updates. I know you've been telling us about House Bill 1176. I guess we can start there, and House Bill 1577.
Yeah, property tax obviously is a huge topic at every legislative session. House Bill 1176 is kind of the bill being promoted by the governor and legislative leadership. We think there are some changes to that bill, and it will go into, I think, conference committee soon, or if it hasn't made it there already. There was I think what I saw the other day, an emergency clause attached to it, so that if they come to some resolution, they can sign it and move it on, immediately to the governor, and that would take effect right away. The one we've talked about is our wastewater collections and wastewater treatment plant. We have a need for estimates right now are for City of Mandan's wastewater treatment plant, kind of a redo at about $120 million. Looking for additional funding on how do we reduce that monthly cost, because we finance that over 30 years at 2%. It's about a $75 to $78 increase per month on your utility bill, and we think that's going to be a lot to handle. The bill 1577 had put, I think, originally $50 million into it, and now has been back down to $25 million for communities to apply for, and now it looks like it's kind of been gutted, and right now it would become a study resolution. We have encouraged our friends in the Senate and the House to, if you want to study this for 2 years, that's fine, but keep the money part in, because we think that the study, and we understand that we want to find a sustainable source of funding to help out wastewater treatment facilities, because that has not been one of those areas that is, there's not a lot of grants out there to help with that. And we understand that if you want to study it, find a sustainable source of funds to keep money coming in there. But again, 2 years down the road, really, you're 3 years down the road, the projects are still going to remain there. I think the State Department of Water Resources intended use plan has $1.49 billion worth of needs in this whole state. So those needs are not going away. It's just a matter of we're going to push them down the road for a couple of years, and the project may not get done, and the price is going to go up.
The price, I was going to say, the needs are still there, and the price is going to increase. Yep. Yeah.
So along with that, we don't want to be doom and gloom here today, right? We do have some really good news for citizens of Mandan. Last week, the Department of Water Resources did approve roughly $11.6 million worth of projects that we have on we call them the clean water, which really is drinking water side. So $4.5 million was approved for the Monty Drive project.
And I think we had that map. Now we have the right order called up.
Which is a huge savings for folks in that area, and normally that's about 60% of that project cost. We had $6.3 million was granted for our water treatment plant optimization phase 3. It's a mouthful, but in essence, the 2-cent version is your water treatment plants are always under upgrades. It's just a continual thing, because our mission, our goal is when you turn on your water at home, you've got clean, drinkable water, and there has to be changes to that. And we also had about $883,000 was approved for Memorial Highway on part of the underground water infrastructure being replaced. So, like I said, not all doom and gloom. These are really good projects, and we always have to give a shout out and thank you to our legislators and also the Department of Water Resources. And these funds come from oil and gas tax revenue to the state of North Dakota. And so when we talk about the price of a barrel of oil and things like that, those prices go down, the taxes that are collected go down, the ability to fund projects like this goes down. These monies are not always there, so we're trying to take advantage and get these projects done while that funding is available. There's my spiel. So,
Carrie, we'll let you take the microphone for a little bit. A few things going on in the city of Mandan. Wanted to talk a little bit about spring cleanup.
Yes, so next week is our spring cleanup week. This happens annually, something our residents look forward to. You can put bulky items out on your boulevard for collection. The biggest thing with that is please wait to put your trash, the things you're getting rid of out at 24 hours in advance. We never know what the weather's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say we're tempting Mother Nature.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
We'll get that 20-inch blizzard or something.
And we want to keep the community clean. That's the whole point of this. So it's items that 2 people can lift. If you're putting out appliances, please make sure there's no food or anything in there. And you can always check out cityofmandan.com/cleanup for more information on that. The landfill is open this Saturday and next Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. And you can take items up there for free. There are some items that have a cost associated with them, but most items will be for free.
Gotcha. And then also want to talk a little about the cleanup month of May, and we have a map too that shows cleanup areas that we can show. But tell us about that program.
Yes, so this is our 12th annual community cleanup. It used to be one day in April, and it got to the point where we were having to move it frequently because of snow. And so about 3 years ago, we had the idea of let's try it for a month and see what happens. And we found that it's easier for staff to manage. We get a lot more participation that way. Volunteers can sign up to take one of our 17 designated routes, and they can pick any day in the month of May to clean up the route. Our crews will come up and pick up the garbage bags along the route, and then those volunteers are eligible for a whole host of door prizes. So it's a great way to clean up the entrances and exits of Mandan and just help keep our community clean. But if people aren't able to do this, we just ask when you're out walking as the weather gets nicer to take a garbage bag with you and clean up the route that you're walking to.
Well, and transitioning to our next topic, I saw some photos from a couple of years ago, that 100-inch snow winter we don't want to remember.
Yes.
But now we're looking at a burn ban, and just wanted to touch on that in Morton County as well.
Yeah, Tom, I think the Morton County Commission did pass a burn ban, and we've got information on that on our website and also on the Morton County website. So again, even though we got a little bit of precipitation this past weekend, it is incredibly dry. Everything underneath it's like a tinderbox, so to speak, out there. So please be careful. Watch what you're doing, and like I said, no throwing cigarettes out the window when you're driving down the interstate, because again, the interstates are very dry, and we just ask people to be very, very careful and cautious on what they're doing.
And it's, it did rain a little bit, and people think maybe there's a little security there, but it just dries out again in such a hurry. Yeah, well, Carrie and Jim, thanks for joining me on, Carrie, your first City Current. Glad you could stop by. Jim, you're well down the road in the number of appearances.
That's a way of saying we're old, or I'm old. Is that how that works? I'm not sure.
You and I are we're getting up there.
We're vintage.
Vintage. I like that. That sounds expensive. Hey, if you want to watch us, we have apps that you can download: our Dakota Media Access app, our Radio Access 102.5 app. So lots of ways that you can watch this show, listen to great music, and other great programs. Thanks for joining us.
For more information on what was discussed in this episode of City Current, visit cityofmandan.com or call 701-667-3215. If you have any suggestions, comments, or issues you would like addressed in future City Current episodes, contact us at info@freetv.org. This program airs on Government Access Channel 2 and 602 in HD, or on Radio Access 102.5 FM. It's also available as a podcast on radioaccess.org and as a video viewing link at freetv.org. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of City Current.